Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Scene Snobs podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs, joined as always by my man, Producer Paul, who's coming in very soon. Sorry I'm a little bit late tonight, guys. I try not to ever do that, but you got kids, you're going to be going. That's how it goes, right? And with snow days, it goes. So we were getting ready. We're going mile a minute, but I'm here and I'm in it. And I got a double feature for you tonight because we're hanging out and then we're going to be over on Surf Sturdy at 8. We're going to be talking about the Psycho remake, and I will have a very epic rant on why it's a dog shit piece of garbage. But before we get there, we got to do this. And this is the Scene Snobs, and we thank you so much for watching and joining in. And before Producer Paul joins me, I just wanted to share a little message with everybody. So, I'm a big, there he is. What's going on, Derpy? Thanks for joining in. One of our favorites over on the Discord. You got to join to know. But Derpy's the man. Thank you. Oh my God. What is that? Oh, is that the original Batman comic with Robin? Was that Robin's first appearance? That's awesome. All right. That's right, guys. So it's been sort of a hard couple of weeks, both mentally, physically, a lot going on. Changes happening, trying to get my knee back in order. I'm exercising more, which is good. So the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. Well, I'm going to take a moment, and I want to tell you guys, I'm a big proponent for mental health, working on yourselves. Now, for the past 3 weeks, I have not been able to see my therapist, which I've been seeing for 4 years. Great guy, great people over there at Behavioral Health, Behavioral Exhale Health Services. I found them in 2020, and they've helped me ever since. So I am a big proponent for it. We do have mental health resources down below in the description. We always have them in every episode, every show on our channel. It's because if you need help and you don't know where to look, you can always talk to us, message us, something like that. I'm always happy to talk to you. I am slow on messages, though, just so you guys know. But we do have resources down below, people who are there to help you, and I urge people to take them on, because I will tell you, your mind, when you don't get a rest or you're able to talk to somebody, you're able to go through it, will play tricks on you. It will mess with you, and not knowingly. I don't think you do it to yourself knowingly, but it happens and it gets to you, and it's hard. Lots of things are hard, and in today's world, even more so because it's so open. So I urge everyone. I know it well. Take a mental health thing, go find yourself some help, talk it out. It can't just be with friends. It can't just be with loved ones, things like that. It's got to be all of it. And I do think that you got to be able to let all of it out. We can't do that with everybody we love. Let's face facts, we can't. And I do urge people to find someone to talk to help them. Okay? Helps me. 3 weeks without being able to see my therapist, holidays and all that stuff. I can't wait to get into it tomorrow because we're going to have a good old time. Plus, I think he's a fan of the show. So if you are watching, what's up? All right, guys, let's get started. We're going to have a great show for you. I hope you guys are checking out on the channel. We are right now just at episode 2 of our Hail to the King, the Godzilla 70-year anniversary retrospective. We covered the first 3 movies, which are the Japanese and American version of Godzilla from 1954 and 56, respectively. In between, that was 1955's Godzilla Raids Again. That was a great first episode. We had a lot of fun. Trevor Stottlemyre from Ambassador Media, it was there. Stir Sturdy from Harbor Stir Sturdy and Popcorn and Pinks is joining in. And we have more coming on through the way. It's going to be 16 weeks, but we did just have episode 2, where we cover King Kong versus Godzilla, Mothra versus Godzilla, and Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster. Such a great time making our way through all the films. Hopefully you can join up with us. And yeah, just let us know what you think. But the man's sitting in the back, and I got to get him out here because I love him. He's just so damn good looking. And that's Producer Paul. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Mick? How is everyone doing over there? They all healthy again, or?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything was good. Knock wood. But you got holidays, you got all this stuff. I really do think, and I want to know what you think about this. I know you hate Christmas, but isn't it still, once the lights come down and stuff like that, still at least, even if you hate it, a little bit more depressing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. January is kind of that weird month. I know everyone's all new starts, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, you're still trying to just get over everything from last year, and you're just like, because there's nothing exciting in January, at least February, for all intents and purposes, that's Valentine's Day. But until then, you're just like, it's January. Minus MLK. Sorry. Happy belated MLK, everybody.
Yes, but as much as but even that in a way can not be depressing, but it can add to the sadness, because as much as Martin Luther King Jr. has done for this country in such immense, amazing ways, I was going to say magical, but not really magical, amazing ways, how everything unfolded in his assassination is it's a hard thing to think about, especially during this time. But we do celebrate him. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Hopefully you guys were Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hopefully you guys took the day off and took care of yourselves, because it's important. I will say this. I think we should start a new tradition, Producer Paul.
Oh, what's that? Let's hear it.
I'm marking January as Absurd Month.
Okay.
Everyone, all of us in the Snob Society, the Snob Society is our Discord, you gotta join that, or the Snob Nation, all of you out there. I say we make this Absurd Month every year in January to stop ourselves from getting the Christmas down blues. We go into the absurdity hard, and we take on and learn something new. Anything. Take it on, even if it's something like maybe a little bad for you. Maybe you want to try some IPAs, more often than you usually do. You want to find yourself some type of hobby or something that it's just pure enjoyment. That's what January is all about from now on. And I'm going to do that too. And I urge you to do that too, Producer Paul.
I absolutely will. I'll partake.
That stems from advice I received. Probably the best advice I ever received from an older gentleman. I was visiting a friend of mine. She was getting a tattoo, and so we're hanging out at this tattoo parlor while she's, getting things ready and stuff. And an old man comes in. He's looking around. He's looking for tattoos, and he saw my ink, and he's asking questions. And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Does it hurt?" I was like, "Not really." I was like, "The ankle is a bitch, but the arms are fine." And I was like, "What's prompting you to get one now?" Because he was like 70. He was like, "When I turned 50, I retired." I was like, "Oh, cool. That's awesome." He's like, "It's been 20 years, but I promised myself when I retired, I always did everything by the book. I was a good person. I never did anything bad. I promised myself every year until I die, I'm going to pick up one bad habit." He said, "My first year, I picked up cigar smoking. My second year, I got a motorcycle." And like he was going down the line. And he's like, "It's been 20 years. I think solidifying it with a tattoo, my first ever, would be fantastic." And I was like, "You know what, man? That is solid advice," because he wasn't talking about going out and causing a ruckus or committing crimes or anything. He just meant like those little mischievous things that we all, maybe if we could do, we would do more, or maybe we did as kids, and just get into it and have some fun, live some life. What do you think about that, Paul?
I think that's a fun way to do it. I think that's a smart way. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, if you were to start that tradition to this year, right? Pick up anything,
right.
Which it doesn't have to start at January 1st. You just pick up a new one. What is like maybe a bad behavior or I don't know, something like a naughty type of thing. And I'm not talking sexual, or it could be, it's up to you, but hopefully it's above board and legal. But what is something like maybe you might think about taking on? I told him this episode was about pets, so don't worry,
yeah,
guys.
You totally did. Yeah. Maybe it'd be partaking in certain things that are legal in Virginia and not here yet.
I think you and Sam need to come visit and find out how legal they are. I've been urging for that for a long time. We'll do a live episode in the studio.
It's just gonna be me staring at the screen.
No, I got a nice chair. You can sit next to Hector. Hector is he's waiting for you. Look, he's over there. He's chilling. And then you can go sit next to Hector.
It's gonna be saying Producer Paul, and I'll be like, what? What?
Oh, he's alive. He's alive, right? He was actually one of the skeletons that starred in Poltergeist.
Really?
No. Oh. He's one I got from Spirit. No, Paul. I didn't think you believed that one.
Totally would. I believe you too much.
You jump right in and you're like, I believe this guy. And I'm like, I need to like harness this in such a good way and help this, because I'm like, if I drop the ball here, that's just a bad friend.
It's all good. I'll keep believing.
I love you, buddy. You know that. And I love Derpy too. And Derpy's here and he says, I never noticed that's the Empire poster. Yeah, the Empire poster is, I think, yeah, that's the New Hope. Empire's right behind me. Jedi's, oh no, that's Empire. Jedi's right behind me. I don't know why I mixed them up. Probably because I love Empire so much and I want everybody to see it. But these are actually going to get switched out soon. I think I'm going to put on, I want to put one up for Godzilla while I'm doing it.
Heck yeah.
And then I want to get that old school Japanese poster.
Okay.
I don't want like every poster Godzilla. No, that's too many posters. It's a lot of posters, Paul.
That is a lot of posters.
Stop trying to sell me posters, Paul. Seriously, knock it off.
I'm just trying to make some money, man. I just made commission. You got to help me out.
Paul's Poster Emporium. I see it now.
$30 poster, not including shipping.
Honestly, some of those posters, if you can get good ones, and Mrs. Scene Snob, Lady Manhattan's here, says hi, Paul. So what's up, Lady Manhattan? She looks very pretty tonight. She looks pretty every night. But here we go. Paul, what were we talking about? I'm not even high yet.
Damn. We were supposed to talk about dogs, but we were talking about absurdity of the month. And then
absurdity.
You were,
oh yeah. What's the bad thing you would pick up? You said
smoking weed.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm so mad at everyone for making it illegal. I want to go back to 1938 and just look Congress in the eye and be like, listen, you know better up north. Trust me. Future, you suck too. But if you fuck this up,
right,
I'm coming back Rambo style, and you ain't even going to be ready for it.
Right.
I have to figure out how to get the Black Hawk into the past. That's the only thing. That's like,
we'll figure it out.
You know, time travel movies are one of my favorites, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Not just Back to the Future. That's my favorite movie of all time, so it probably set me off the path. But if it's a time travel movie, I'll watch it, even if it's the cheesiest goddamn thing on the planet. Mm-hmm. And I'll hate it.
That. Yeah.
I didn't like the time travel in Endgame.
Really?
It's okay. Here's the deal.
Ooh.
I'm so weird with my time travel. I know Primer is probably the most realistic way that time travel could ever work, but not in my mind, baby, because I go with the absurd. In my mind, I try to figure out which one I'd want to exist more. Because I don't know because if you have a car, it can break down. I don't know how to fix a car. You know how to fix a car? You probably know how to fix a car.
A little bit. Not enough to go back in time with my current car and be like, oh, I can just, we're good. No.
That's why I realized in my lifetime that I could never be in like a Star Trek type of world or something where you actually have to do math to like do things.
Right.
Like if somebody's like, wow, we got to figure out the calculus on this, I'd be like, is this like an everyday thing that people should know?
Right.
No, it's not me. I don't know that. Like, because I watch Star Trek and they're all like, yeah, you know what? The neutrons are blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'd be the guy in the background. They'd be like, he's simple. Mm-hmm. We let him carry a pail. That's what we let him do. That's his job in the future. I'm not subjugated, but at the same time, it's like you can't eat soup. It's too hot, sort of thing.
Yeah. I get that.
Because like everybody's speaking on a level that's like, I can do a podcast. You want to do that, Picard? Let's get on.
I'd be that weird creature that just hung out with Simon Pegg in Star Trek.
And the stupid thing is, I've met a few people on Star Trek, and they're actually really smart. And it's like, I couldn't even hang out on the set.
Damn.
So I'd be the key grip. They'd be like, "You're an idiot." And I'm like, it's fair, but
is it Leonard Nimoy? Was it Spock? Because I always envisioned the actual actor as being super smart.
Leonard Nimoy. I've never met the man, but like in interviews, I would say he's incredibly smart. Especially as a director, because you see a lot of stuff. Like he was a hippie, which is fun. But I could see him being like incredibly smart human being. I'll say this: like a lot of people sleep on Shatner and like make fun of his acting. He became a character of himself, but if you go back early days, he was a good actor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then he just was like, all right, I'm on Star Trek. I'm gonna phone this shit in.
Hey, I mean, I'd cash in on whatever I could do. I don't fault a lot of actors for certain ways they are. Some. I didn't say all. Some.
What does it say? What does it say right there? snobs. You
Yeah,
have to be a snob now.
I'll be the scene part. You be the
You
snob
be the scene,
part.
I'll be the snob. I'll tell you, I've been doing Letterboxd. I've been telling myself for years. My old co-host on Pulling Focus podcast, which anybody, if you haven't seen that, like we don't do it anymore, but there were some really great episodes on that. Go check it out. But anyway, I digress. He was like, when we were doing that, he's like, you know what Letterboxd is? I was like, no, what's that? He's like, it's this website where you can review movies, and I'm like, so like Rotten Tomatoes? I was like, I'll just write for websites. I don't want to do that.
Right.
He's like, no, you should. You keep tracking, make lists, and for years I made one for the Scene Snobs, and I never did a goddamn thing with it. You know, maybe rated some movies when I'm bored.
Right.
Finally, Sturdy got me all on, and he's like, let's get our letterbox set. You know, and I was like, yeah, I think it's important. Now I see the significance. So rather than try and go out and just find movies I've seen or type them in, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go by year. Now I'm up to 1982. Okay. And what I do is I scroll through all the movies that came out in 1982, 83, whatever, and I add the ones I know I've seen. And if I didn't see, or I'm not sure if I've seen them, I mark them somewhere else, and then I check them to make sure. Well, I've seen a lot of movies, Paul.
Right.
In my 42 years on this planet. I mean, I'd have to venture to guess I've seen probably close to 6,000 movies.
I can see that.
Easily, and that's not even, but that's only the movies that came out in those years.
Oh.
That's nothing before.
Oh.
And technically I haven't even finished 1982 yet. I've only done the first page. So there's probably going to be more. But I got to tell you, the farther back I go, the less movies I watched.
Okay. That's
and fair, I'm wondering why. I'm going to run an experiment on it. So I don't have an answer and I don't have a hypothesis for it yet, but it is like, I'm trying to gauge, because I'm not saying like I've seen everything, so we should gauge, but now that I'm going through and counting all the movies that did come out and like kind of getting a number there versus what I've seen.
Right.
Like, it's very cool to see, like, over the years, like the 90s was huge, especially because of the indie burst. Like, we got a lot more movies, and like there's just something really big about it. But like, I was seeing over 100 movies, like 130 to 150 movies a year that came out that year.
Okay.
Now I'm like 70s, 50s, in the 80s, but I'm not missing anything. You know, it's so crazy to me. So I'm like, so I'm going to keep doing this and go all the way back, but I'm going to try and see if there was, during different time elements, like what were the movies that came out? Because I saw a lot of really good stuff that came out, and if there's less movies coming out but more value to them, like 1984, Ghostbusters, The Terminator, countless things came out, right? And I only saw not countless. I only saw like 73 of them. So I'm like, 1984, really? But then I went through every movie that came out. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't like hundreds of movies that came out, but you're counting short films, you're counting, so like severely independent. There's also porn on there, the whole nine. So, oh my God, Paul. Oh my God, the box covers of porn that I am seeing throughout the years. I've never been so hard. I mean, I've never been so surprised. It's kind of devastating. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I found one today. I found one. I think I might have sent it to our group chat because. Okay. Well, I'm still gonna say it. You can say whatever you want. I'm gonna say a few of these movies I found that I really want to try. Where's that? Did somebody delete it? I think somebody deleted it.
What a nice person. But
it makes me laugh so much more. So I think it was like called By and Beyond. It was called By and Beyond, and it was just, but I don't care what it's about. I don't care what the content is. That's fine. Sexual proclivities, go for it. Whatever turns your boat, not whatever turns your screw, whatever turns your boat. But the box covers, Paul. The box covers. We don't think about the box covers. And what I'm finding is a lot of these box covers that are dangerously misleading or not. They go one extreme to the other. It's either dangerously misleading or, oh no, I know exactly what, like Camp YMCA with the naked man and the bush kind of hanging up from the bottom.
Yep.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So when I see these things and I watch the movie straight through so I can add them to my lists, I got to say, it's awakening something in me.
Nice.
In fact, something I saw tonight really woke something inside of me. It's called My Guatemalan Sweetie. I can't even hold a straight face. That's when you go, thank God I'm enduring.
Yep.
No, I mess with you, but there are a lot of stuff. But as I'm going through, like, it's very cool to go back. And now one thing I will urge people to do this and make your list throughout the year is I've found so many movies that I've watched that just like through the years that I completely forgot about, but it gave me good memories. Like I was like, I remember when I watched that with her. Like it was just a random date, like Deep Impact. I cannot remember the girl's name. I was 15 or 16. So like, I mean, cut me some slack. And we went out on one date to go see Deep Impact. So, but I remember having a really wonderful time that night. It was like a really nice, fun time. So like seeing the box cover as I do this, it's almost like, it's what I hope my heaven will be. I hope it's like a giant, like mom and pop store, video store that I can walk through and just look at box covers that remind me of all the wonderful times of my life.
Heck yeah.
Does that make sense? Like I could pick out any movie, and as soon as I like, if heaven is anything, I hope that's my heaven, because I want to be able to pick out a movie, right, and put it in. It's VHS, of course. I mean, why not? I want to pick up a movie. I want to pop it in my VCR up in my heaven VCR, and like, I don't know, maybe it's Bloody Summer Camp. And now, but it brings me back to all my fun memories of like hanging out with you and talking about it. Like not just watching the movie, but like automatically, because it's heaven, they're just like, boom, that'd be awesome. Yeah, it will be. I want to go to my Sturdy Video in the Sky one day. Not right now. Right now, I got more movies to watch. But rewind or go to hell. Dude, I'm telling you, I don't give a shit. If heaven is a video store and I can work there, I think I'd be very happy. Because it's heaven. Like when you leave the video store, or I don't know if you have like a heaven home or whatnot, but if you do, you're still happy because you're not like paying for shit. So you're just going to the video store to work and have fun.
Right. That doesn't sound bad at all.
Is that weird that I don't want to be I don't want to be a podcaster about movies. I don't want to make heaven movies. I want to work at heaven's video store.
That's fair. I'll take care of the podcast then.
That's fine.
You can have heaven's podcast then. I hope it's me just spying on all of my family that's still alive and just talking mad shit and just updating you guys on how bad everyone's doing.
No, I want you to do the podcast in the heaven. I'll be the manager of heaven's video store. You do the podcast there.
Okay.
And then you can work with me.
There you go. That works.
There you go. It'll be fun. Oh, sorry. Zerum MCs. Thank you so much for joining in. What's up? Appreciate you joining in tonight. I don't know who this is, but thank you. And Sturdy, thank you too, man. Pod in the video store.
There it is. Done.
God's listening because he's like, I put Sturdy and Mick on it. Paul's gonna be our podcaster up in the big time.
It's gonna be trouble.
No, come on. You calm it down there, buddy.
Nah. So, I can't die twice. I'm gonna live it up.
Oh no! Don't do that in heaven.
Why not? Roll it.
I will hire you both. Got to hire Mick to fit the quota. I don't know if heaven has a quota of white guys. I think everybody's just accepted there. Sturdy. Why didn't you just come on the show, Sturdy? All right. I poor Paul. I haven't let him say anything. My blowhard mouth has been talking all the time, and we didn't even get to the topic tonight. So I'm gonna skip on to that. So I brought up to Paul. I don't know why I'm laughing about this, but I did. I brought up to Paul the idea of who are the best movie pets and who are the worst. Now, I made a list. Have you made a list?
I did.
I cannot wait to hear your list. How many did you put together?
I just did two. The one I talked to you about, then one separate, like a creature pet thing.
Let's start with your Your top pet in movies.
Pet. It's gonna be a Milo from The Mask.
So why is Milo your top pet? Like that I'm like, because he kept stealing the mask and then he put it on at the end. I'm like, why is he the best pet? He's a mischievous one. I love
That's
Milo.
what I need, because I'm totally mischievous and all that shit. So I want a dog that's gonna match my energy, you know, like hide my keys, find my keys, you know, be absurd. He gets a mask too. Like, that dog's awesome. And I kind of like that dog as a little dog. So I feel like I can put up with that shit.
I'm starting to think I'm doing something wrong here. Should I be mischievous? I need to get more into mischief.
No. Because I need to be with this one. You got to ground me down.
Now that throws me off, because that's a good choice. I don't know if I like mine now.
No, you still love yours. It's your choice.
Well, it's always listen, and I'm going to tell everybody this: I love all animals. I love them. I'm not vegetarian or anything like that, but I do love animals. Take care of our pets. Bring them inside. It's cold. If you're cold, they're cold. So don't shake babies. So that's the I love pets, but I'm a dog guy. I'm allergic to cats. So like having a cat, I did when I was a kid, because I feel like my parents were like, one of them will eventually kill each other, so it'll be fine. So you know, they would just stick us in the ring or whatever, and I'd sneeze to death. But I always I love dogs. I've always owned dogs. I've always been like sort of what I go to. I love my Reba girl who's upstairs. So my list is mostly filled with dogs. Not for the bad though. Some, not for the bad though. My number one movie best pet ever is Scooby-Doo.
Huh. Okay.
Think about it. Like, Scooby goes on these adventures, even reluctantly. He's a goddamn hero. Shaggy or anyone when we're in trouble, he will step up. Brave as hell. Like, I get so mad when they're like, oh, Shaggy and Scooby, you're scaredy cats. I'm like, these motherfuckers are the most brave. They're the most brave. You're all fucking two chicks. They're taking out the bad guys.
True.
Why do you hate Scooby-Doo, Paul? Why do you hate him?
I don't know, because I just used to love Scooby-Doo, and now I don't. I don't know. He looks weird. New animation. Don't like him.
You can don't accept that stupid Velma show, but whatever.
But yeah. God bless.
No,
I didn't know what I was getting in for. I tried to watch it. I was like, what the fuck just happened to my child?
I get it. Men are terrible, and we're all horrible, and we all do terrible things, even though some of us are actually good men, not nice guys who try to take over shit. So anyway, but I did have a hard time, because as I was thinking about things, like, there's so many movies. I love Garfield, and I would actually venture to say that Garfield might be one of my worst.
There you go.
Because as much as I love him, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
His food budget alone. How many lasagnas can you make?
I don't know. And they take like 50 minutes to make, even frozen. So I mean, that's a whole effort. That's an all-day thing.
You gotta make him some Hot Pockets. That's how it works. That's what would work on me anyway. I think that's what my wife
feed him. He eats a whole lasagna. That's like a whole 12-pack of fucking Hot Pockets. And it's still gonna take you 50 minutes, because you can't stick them all in the microwave at the same time.
Dude, I've lost so much weight, but I'm still fat. And all I thought about when you said Hot Pockets was that I have some White Castle sliders upstairs. And I'm like, I'm all in on those when the show's over. And I was like, fuck, I got Sturdy show afterwards. I was like, all right.
Throw them in an air fryer. You'll be fine.
Yeah, actually, that sounds like a great fucking idea.
Yeah.
Damn it, Tim, you got me that air fryer book, and now it doesn't say anything about White Castle. I will say this though: your worst pet?
My worst, in keeping with just an actual pet, I said Cujo, because fuck that.
But come on, Cujo's not a bad boy. He was just mixed up. I actually, when my good boy Ramrod passed away in 2018, the night we put him to sleep, I watched Cujo. Because to me, that is, because if you started out, they talk about Cujo, even though he comes from this household the father's a piece of shit. Cujo's a good boy. He's he's just all frolicking, chasing down rabbits, and he gets bit by a goddamn bullshit bat. So he did bad things, but I maintain that Cujo goes to heaven. Because all dogs go to heaven. And he's our good boy on the Rainbow Bridge, protecting us now. Beethoven's a fucker. Beethoven's a bad dog.
Yeah, that's just a shithead. He's the
He
problem
tears
child
shit
of
up.
dogs.
And he acts irresponsible. He didn't wrap it up.
No,
Because Beethoven's second was a big difference.
he was
So-
raw dogging shit out of that neighbor.
Some people, like I was looking up lists. Some people put Godzilla on that list. You're a bunch of fuckheads.
I was gonna feel bad.
Godzilla.
Whatever. Yeah, they should
Godzilla's
watch the
no
show
one's
and
pet.
learn the difference. Right, that part too.
Now, I would say probably the worst pet to own, though. And don't give me the shit that's not a pet. They're not even real. So shut up. Gremlins. Getting mogwais. It's too hard. Can you imagine trying to take care of one? Like, legitimately, really imagine getting a mogwai as a gift.
No.
And for the rest of your life, never feeding it after midnight. When does that even fucking mean? Every time is after midnight at some point.
Right. Yeah, what time zone are we talking about?
Right?
What time zone do they fucking know?
If I travel, does he automatically turn? Like, I who knows?
Don't get them wet. Well, how much humidity counts as wet?
I didn't
live in
fucking think
Alabama.
of that.
Right.
I didn't think of that. And the whole outside is covered in snow.
Mhm.
He walked around with it. So what if snow falls on him and melts? Is he wet?
Yeah.
Paul, you bring up great points. Now, oh well, it wouldn't work because it was a gremlin. I was going to say in Gremlins too, when he falls into the wet cement, is that wet? It's mixed with water.
Still
But
got
he was
water
already a gremlin and then turned into a water. Doesn't matter. I just honestly, like, I have to go unless you get Gizmo, because there was no other. I wish I kind of showed other good mogwais.
Right.
Because
Maybe this new one will.
Yeah, there's a new one coming. Ugh.
I know.
I love Gremlins, but I just and I love the second one, even though it's so zany and absurd and stupid. I still like it. I think it's fun. I actually think it's more fun than the first one. The first one is a good horror-esque kind of children's film. But the second one is straight up a children's like it's fun. And I have that same argument for Secret of the Ooze. Like I love that first movie as a movie. And I almost can accept that. I almost like when it comes to sequels, it's like if you take a turn and maybe make it a little more jovial or fun for people to come and see, I'm like, I can be like, yeah, do as many sequels as you want then. That's why I think I'm okay. Like a lot of people were like, Scream sucked after that. I was like, it became a little more fun. You know, they were more tongue-in-cheek and having a good time with it. Until you get to like 5 and 6, and then it's like, Jesus, okay. But then, but like Friday the 13th, I think did that really well. You know, like they were like, all right, let's just throw out some explanations, bring Jason back, and have some fun. Like that's why those movies are fun for me. But to go back to the original argument with Gremlins, like I think it's too much time passed unless you get somebody like they did with Jason Reitman coming into Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Right.
I think he helped pay homage to it and really help, you know, like re-spark the want for those Ghostbusters movies in a big way for the mainstream. Like I know the fans always wanted one, but what about you, man? Like so if I'm saying something like a Mogwai is terrible, more responsibility than we can handle as a pet. What's another one maybe along those lines that you think?
That one was tough, like kind of trying to think kind of out of the box and be like, ooh, what would be a crappy creature? And I did list that one, so now I'm trying to think of another one on the fly. So let me go with my good one first before I come up with the bad one.
Yeah, go ahead.
My good one as far as a creature, if you can count him as a pet, I'd say Willie from Free Willy. I saw that movie as a kid, and I thought that'd be cool as hell.
He's like the only non-dickish killer whale.
I just got to play the harmonica really shitty, and he comes up and just chills. Feed him some fish, he's happy. Done. No problem.
Where does Frankenstein fall on the list? Like, is Frankenstein a pet at some point? Like at one point, do like character? I realize this is going a bad way, but I mean this. I kind of want to know. At what point does like a Frankenstein or somebody like that who can't possibly, because they are not human or this or that, you know, like Frankenstein's made of humans, but
Right.
he's more zombie. And so, like, do we consider them pets? Like, if an alien came down and lived, like, is E.T. a pet? I think that's more along the lines. Like, I'm not saying like things that are duller. So like Frankenstein, he can kind of reason, but he's never gonna have brain surgery. You know,
Right? Yeah,
you're not going to develop that. I'm talking, and aliens can come down and be super smart, but acclimating to our like, if they're stuck here and they're living with us, does that make them a pet?
I feel like if you're in charge, their only way of getting them food and being taken care of, I'd go as far as to venture and say that that's a pet as far as the animal creature thing.
Okay,
like, so their only source.
So it doesn't seem so provocative in the way of opening up to a lot of things, because I started with Frankenstein. Let's even if it's alien, let's stick to more animalistic looking. So not humanoid. So okay, would you consider Alpha pet?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
It's right in the middle, but I feel like he could prepare his own food. I saw him on chef shows.
Well, there are dogs out there and cats out there who can, like, if you set it up, can hit the thing and feed themselves, or so what. So, like, to me is, if you can't go out into society, now this is any human can go out into society. Any human of any kind can go out into society. I want to put and any animal can go out into society, but like Alf can't go out. He's an alien. He's going to get taken and stuff. So, like, he can't go out in society, get a job, live a normal life. So he's confined to the home, right? So, like, and within that element, he wants to eat cats and stuff like that. Like, we can't. Does that make him more pet than like a roommate? Would you consider him a roommate?
I'd consider him more of a roommate.
I'd consider him more of a pet, like E.T. Like I'm going to keep this thing.
Yeah. I still consider him more of his roommate. Him, at least. E.T., no, but.
Okay. But for this sake, you would consider, like, the aliens, they're essentially more pets than they are. Because roommates pay the rent, so Alf ain't paying that rent. Maybe he's paying a cat. So now this brings me to my next point. That makes the entire crew of Outpost 31 the bad guys in the movie. Yeah. All their pet wanted to do was come inside. It was cold. Yeah. How dare you?
You're cold, they're cold. Right. I know.
Well, don't agree with me.
That's because I'm waiting to have my tentacles pop out and just infect you once I see you next time.
No, he's like, you call me a pet, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Jesus. I don't know. I just, like, I think about those things. There's, it would be one of the best. Wait, does a dragon count as a pet? Like Dragonheart?
That's tough because they shared a heart thing and all that. So I don't know if that's quite a pet. I feel like it's a mutual.
Okay. But what about How to Train Your Dragon, which is literally the connotation that it's a pet?
That is. Now that I would consider a pet because 100%.
But Toothless went off and had his own family, had his own adventures, did his own thing.
True. But so do some stray dogs and cats. They'll go run off and go.
I love tripping you up. It's so much fun. I don't know that I think if you can survive on your own, you're not a pet. And that goes across the board. Like if you can survive on your own, you're of course not, well, humans aren't pets, but
yes, they are.
Depends on which one. I guess. I don't know. I guess they can be. You're right. Like, there's plenty of porn boxes that I saw in my escapades on Letterboxd that prove me wrong, but I'm gonna get into that. I don't want to talk about the bronies and the
shout out to the bronies.
Was it fluffies or fluffies, right? Furries. Yeah. That's how you know somebody's not one of them. That's the immediacy of like, because I was really boggled. I'm like, no, it's furries, right? Or no, not furries. I said it's like fluffies, right?
Yeah, it's furries. Today is Tails Day. Happy Tails Day to all my furries out there.
Is that a thing? Do you know this?
And then Thursday is Furs Day. It's Furs Day. No, I'm not. I had a very close friend that is.
What?
Plug and all. It's beautiful.
Can he come in? Will he
I
talk
don't know.
about it?
I don't know because he switched to Catholicism and got rid of all of that.
Go back, dude. Go back. It's way better on the other side. Trust me.
I would get a
there's
text
shit
for
going
a
up
couple
the
years
butt
he
there,
did
but
that.
it ain't. Well, how old is he?
He's my age. I think he's 32.
Oh,
33.
he's safe then. He's safe. They're just gonna give up his money. It's fine.
But no, every Tuesday, every Thursday would be a Happy Furs Day, Happy Tails Day. Fuck.
Happy Tails Day. See, I don't give a shit. That's my biggest thing is I don't give a shit. Whatever you're into, as long as like it's consensual and everybody's above board and good.
Yep. Yeah.
You want to dress up like a goddamn bunny? Go have fun. I have a bunny hat down there. I'll put it on and fuck you right now. No, I'm just kidding. Paul's like, I didn't say you. I was talking to the. There.
I'll be Elmer Fudd. I'm hunting rabbit. Whatever, man. Let's do it.
Paul,
what's up?
if we can ever do a dual Halloween costume, which I realize we're both married and that's kind of hard to do, but because I have tried to convince my wife to let me do Halloween costumes for friends before, but I feel like me being Bugs Bunny and you being Elmer Fudd might be the greatest goddamn. But since I can't do it, do you think Sam would? Like, I think Mary would be okay. Hey Mary, guess what? Guess who's Tweety Bird this year?
Oh God.
Me. You're Sylvester.
Oh, she's the Pootie Cat. All right.
She's the Pootie Cat. No, I'm the Pootie Cat. I want to be the Pootie Cat. Forget it. I take it back.
My fault. We could do the Peter Pan thing. I can lie on the ground and be your shadow.
I'll take it. Let's do it.
I'll do it. I always want to do
it. All right, guys. Oh, what's up?
I was gonna say the worst creature though, pet, would be the plant from fucking Little Shop of Horrors.
Does that count as a pet? Now you're fucking it up. You're fucking it up. You did this.
He had to feed the plant. He had to feed the plant.
He had to feed. You have to feed everything though. If you have plants in your building, they don't eat people, but you have to feed them. You like water and nurture and put the soil down and such. So was he just? So who was the real monster there?
I mean, technically Seymour, because he kept feeding the fucking plant.
Feeding the monster. So who's the real culprit? Like, if your nature is to eat, right? Like, is a wolf bad for killing and eating a person in the wild? Like, I mean, if they walked into their house, smoked a cigarette, and said, "Dude," and shot him, yeah, the wolf's bad. He's a bad guy. He's a Quentin Tarantino level bad. Yeah, but in real life, if you're out in the wilderness and he eats your ass, you were food.
Yeah, you were in their house and they are hungry. They're gonna eat.
They're not bad. You're an idiot. Stay out of the wilderness. So, so if that in that case, then what makes an animal bad? That's again why I have to argue with Cujo. Now I can argue all the aliens we talked about and things like that because there's a cognitive sense there of like what they're doing. Right. Like dogs don't look at you and just say, "I'm going to bite you because I think it'll be funny."
Right.
They bite you and cats scratch you because you're bugging them or you're actively going out of your way to mess with them. So what makes an animal bad? And we're going to go movie style. So to answer this question before we get into our reviews, in your opinion, what makes an animal actually like bad?
In a movie.
In a movie, yeah, movie setting.
Okay. It's either from another animal biting them or something infecting them to change their actual character, or it's just really shitty owners, I would say. For the bad ones.
There's the argument. We'll call it the Seymour argument.
Okay.
And we're going to hold to this on movies from now on. Were they bad? Or did they have their own Seymour feeding them to be bad? And that would be a good, I want to have that topic discussion with you in a couple of weeks of, you ever see The Black Phone?
Yes.
Where does the evil lie? Because the masked man lived the same lifestyle.
True.
And even then, like you ask yourself, is he actually the son of the guy who did it to him? Or was he just one of them that was taken? So like, I want to discuss this, but I want to talk to you off camera about it and off the air because I want to put parameters on it because we can say, because we can say he did evil acts, making him bad, and he needs to face consequences. But what set it off? But I'd like to have that from a movie perspective, and I have other stuff I want to throw your way. But so we'll do that topic in a few weeks. But
okay, absolutely.
I am excited for that. That would be fun because like what? So like, but with Animal, I like that. Yeah. Like, but even then, it's like it's the Seymour effect. That the people are the ones that are causing good or bad.
Right.
Oh, wow, I dig that.
Yep.
So anyway, guys, we're going to get into our reviews tonight. We both checked out Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and The Family Plan. And Paul, oh no, that was the wrong.
Yeah, I was about to say we already did
slide. That was last week. All right,
right. I was like, wait a minute.
Let's start that one again. Hey guys, we're here to review tonight Self-Reliance, the new Hulu film starring Jake Johnson and directed by him, and the comedy special that just came out from Dave Chappelle, Dreamer, not The Dreamer. I think it's just called Dreamer. But before we get into them, I just want to know: should we do we count comedy specials in movie reviews? What do you think? I don't think I've ever asked that question.
I think we should, just because they do set them as, featured films, almost like I would count the Taylor Swift movie as a movie, even though it's still a concert, it's still a movie.
Love that. That's great. Oh, okay. I love that. I'm going to adopt that. I like that rule because I don't think I've ever set that parameter for myself. But what got me thinking about it was I really wanted to talk about this because it's been polarizing a lot lately.
Right.
And I wanted to review it and see it for myself. But at the same time, while going through these movies on Letterboxd, I'm seeing a lot of old comedy performances, and I'm like, do these count as movies? Like, yes, I'm going to put them on here as watched because they are. What do they count? And that'd be a good thing to kind of uncover. But I do agree with you. Yeah, like if you can count the Taylor Swifts, that can be nominated, even though it's a fluke, and they're nominating it for Best Picture and stuff this year, right, to get her to go to the awards. Although great show, great movie, not taking it away from her. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. So it does count. Good on you, Paul. See, you set a tone. You set a rule here on the Scene Snobs. Very nice. Now, our reviews for, let's go Self-Reliance first. Now, before we share our ratings, what did you think about this, Paul?
So I went into it. I love Anna Kendrick. I'm not going to lie. I typically love her as just a fun actress. I usually know what you're in for with her in any movie, to an extent. And I get the parameters and the whole storyline I thought was cool. When I saw the trailer for this, I was like, well, this is different. This is kind of fun. It's probably going to be comedy and a bunch of like little action, like an action comedy is what I was expecting, with a little rom-com. And I feel like they had all the ingredients to make a really funny, good movie, and I feel like they just dropped the ball and just made it kind of idiotic. I feel like they just kind of, if anything, I'd say I feel like it was rushed. Like I feel like they rushed making it and writing it, and I think if they had taken their time, it could have been a great movie. But it just didn't do it for me, at all.
You know what? I thank you. Yeah, because that gave me some things to think about with it. Because when I was watching it, I did enjoy it. Mm-hmm. It's not breaking any barriers, and I definitely think the third act was just like kind of fell apart towards the end. But I had a lot of fun with it because there was a lot of experimental sort of filmmaking in there that I really enjoyed about it. But yeah, overall, it started out as a really cool premise, and I kind of like how it jumped the gun really fast. Like you didn't go through it didn't feel like what's that movie that just came out, Five Nights at Freddy, where every day we have to go through every motion this guy goes through till he gets there. This was like, okay, we get the motion maybe once or twice, and then it's like Andy Samberg shows up, which I was not. Yeah. I was kind of expecting more of a build up, right? And then him accepting it, like it seemed very off because a lot of the decisions this guy took. Not that I disagreed with, or I thought his character would take, but I was like, but normal people wouldn't. And I was like, kind of dig the fact that he is, though, because he's so lonely. So it set it up really well. And then when they had this dark web show where he has to survive, I even liked as long as you're with somebody. And then, but then it got to this wonderful part of like, oh, it's turning into sort of like a deranged love story.
Right.
And then it just like quickly fell apart, like within a few days, like fell apart. And then like, you never saw her again. Yeah. And that's where the third act fell apart for me. I was like, these first two acts set up really something nice. And then, but it didn't ruin it for me until after he won it. and I know I'm spoiling it, but that's not really a spoiler. You're going to get the idea of like what's going to happen. And the problem is there is no spoiler. There is nothing that's a turn or a twist. And this is a movie that I felt needed one.
Right.
I don't say that often, and I don't think like a big reveal one, but I was kind of hoping that the twist would be like the people he cares about set this up.
Right.
So that way he could get through his emotional issues.
Right.
And then I was like, well, maybe, but then when the ninjas and all that started popping out, I was like, oh, maybe this is real. And like, they're rewarding him for like trying or not rewarding him, but like, I would have liked the explanation of, okay, his dad shows up out of the blue after like 30 years. This girl is there and like wants to be connected with him. I thought maybe it would have been fun if like in the game show, the fans, because the fans really liked them, they were like trying to help him.
Right.
I thought they explained like, we were giving you these people to help you. Like people can pay for like actors to come in and help you or get you through, so that way you can make it through the 30 days, but it's up to you ultimately. I thought that would have been a better explanation for the end there.
Yeah.
Because it really just like, you don't get an explanation. He does get through it and builds his self-reliance, which is ultimately the goal of the whole film, the theme of the whole film. But by the time you get to the end, you find out, oh, it's just a game show.
Yeah.
And he's just now done with it. It was so lackluster. It didn't feel like he learned anything other than, okay, he survived, but you never even really gave me a good reason on why he's changed.
Right.
You know, so yeah, that one brought it down for me. I just think people should need to check it out because that first and second act are really well written. And anybody who wants to learn how to write different acts and act structure, I would point this movie out in like a class and be like, you know what, if you setting it up this way, it worked out well. It's not breaking barriers, but like it wasn't bad. But I think for me, you gave this a rating of 1, right? And I gave this a rating of 3. I gave it a rating of 3 because I thought the acting was well, and we're gonna get to your 1 because that's low, and I'd love to hear why. I gave it a rating of 3 because well shot, well directed, the acting's really good. I like the choices within the story of the character, which made it a lot more interesting. But that's 2 whole points just because your third act was sloppy.
Right.
That's a lot, but you gave it a 1. And I would love to hear why.
I think it's because, like I said, I try not to watch trailers, and before I put this on, I put on the trailer. I feel like if you watch the trailer, you pretty much could pick up what was going to happen, minus, like you said, with Anna Kendrick kind of leaving, just being gone. You didn't see that coming. And in all honesty, you were hoping more for like a better ending like that, but I was looking for Anna Kendrick being actually one of the killers. And at the end, he thinks he makes it 30 days. And then she's like, actually, I'm a hired hitman, whatever, hit woman person, I was kind of hoping for that kind of a twist because I was very skeptical of her because I was like, well, they're hitting it off a little too good right now. And like I said, I just think if I hadn't watched the trailer, it might have been okay. I just think I thought it was going to be better because I thought the premise was a lot of fun. Like you said, I don't think it was a bad movie. I just thought I was going to enjoy it. And it'd be one that I could tell people to watch. Like, oh, if you haven't seen this yet, you should go out and watch it. This is more if someone hits me up and asks me about it, I'll be like, you can, but they're going to let you down in the ending.
Yeah, and for me, just so everybody like gets my level, like for when it's a 3, that's not a go and check it out. That's like a maybe go check it out. Like from me, like I feel like if you checked it out, you might not hate it. People can take different things from it, and the way it's shot is really fun. But I do see where you're coming from, and yeah, I did too. The part of me was, and Mary was watching too. She's like, I think she's one of the killers, and I was like, that would be a cool twist. But I was like, I'm not getting that feel. Something else is up. And then she was pointing out another thing too. She's like, yeah, she doesn't do this. She doesn't do this. Every time they're talking to somebody, she disappears. She leaves them alone and goes off by herself. Like, so I was like, yeah, I mean, that fits the killer mold. So that would be really cool. So I think when she left and was gone, I was like, if she comes back as the killer, it's going to be useless. So I didn't think they would do that. Right. Because what's the point of him being like, I met this great girl and blah, blah, blah. And then she comes back and kills him. You're going you're going to destroy it. So I was like, from a writing standpoint, I was like, I don't think she's the killer. And it turns out she wasn't. But they didn't use. Was she just a cameo? Like she, like they were falling in love, and then she just was like, I can't do this. Bye.
And that's why I thought she might be the killer, because I was like, maybe that's internal conflict all of a sudden. You know, I could have even settled if she had hit him up after the 30 days. Like,
you know what? This you convinced me. I knocked this down a half point. 2.5. yeah, 2.5 for me. That's mine. But that brings us. Let's jump on to the next review, because I really want to get your stand on this. And self-reliance just is now you're making the points go down faster.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. You pointed out good things. I can change my mind, good or bad. All right. Dreamer, James Chappelle's new special. It's catching a lot of criticisms for the trans jokes, catching a lot of criticisms for his disabled jokes. My feelings, and I'm going to share this, and I don't expect you to have to share your feelings on it, because I know it can be, people tend to pick this apart. Dave Chappelle doesn't bother me, because ultimately, like, he's a part of that culture in the comedy world where they don't get it. So the things they're making fun of, that's what they're. And now, yeah, I'm not saying he's doing it deliberately to tear you down. I think he is, but personally, like, because he's at war and it brings on, even bad publicity brings on publicity. People are paying attention, right? So with that being said, I watch his specials because outside of a lot of like the pointed jokes, which to me, it's just not funny when you're punching at somebody like that, whether it be down, up, or in between. Like, you're targeting, and it's just like, it's fun to maybe do a stereotype joke here and there, or this, that, and the other thing, and like make everybody laugh. But I feel like you should be good natured throughout towards anyone that could possibly be there. You know, maybe not dogs or whatever, or Alf, but you know, like, to me, it's like you should at least try and like think about anybody who's there. Like, yeah, make fun. Maybe they've been through this and you're making a joke, but the joke is a joke. I'm not saying this about you.
Right.
I'm not calling the victims this. So once I get past that, I know a lot of people can't watch him. I'm still like, his other jokes that are outside of that are really funny. He's a great comedian. So, and there are people who find his other stuff funny, and that's fine too, I guess. But it just doesn't hit me. I don't think he needs to be canceled. That's a personal preference. I was like, I don't think anybody needs to be canceled. I'm not for cancel culture. Like, Harvey Weinstein wasn't canceled. The consequences of his horrible actions finally caught up with him, and they should have caught up with him earlier. Shame on the celebrities. Talk to them. So stop bitching about people who are like, cancel culture sucks, because you're using it as a weapon. And, you know, and you're doing that with Dave Chappelle's apparently. And that just sucks for anybody. So with that being said, I did enjoy it. Not all of it. The targeted jokes, again, weren't funny. They just felt like kind of cheap, like cheap knocks. So it knocked down my rating for me quite a bit. I wish for a special that was like 20 years after he did Killing Them Softly, which is one of the greatest stand-up specials of all goddamn time, and had the same kind of jokes that he said in this one, but they weren't targeted. They were just jokes. And that's what I mean. If you watch these two different specials, this special is done, some of these jokes were done with anger towards a group that was trying to attack him. But you go back to Killing Them Softly, it's like, it's all fun. Everybody's just having a good time and laughing and doing a good time. And that's why, like, this one just misses the mark, you know? Even the last one, like, I liked the story. I thought it was funny, kept me going. But this, yeah, I was like, come on, Dave, man, let that shit go. Like, why does it have to be turmoil all the time? But I would love to hear what you think, sir.
So, like you said, there were some good laughs there, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm the best comedic judge ever, because there are. I like Louis C.K., who got canceled, right? But I
another one I didn't think needed to be canceled,
right? But those
maybe it needed to be brought up. So like, I think in situations like that, it's like, yeah, you did something fucked up, and you should apologize for it to your victims,
right?
I don't need your apology,
right?
You know, like, you know, and I don't think women everywhere need your apology, nor do women everywhere even need to know who you are if that's the case. But apologize to your victims, stop doing it, and then let the guy work. Sorry, I didn't mean to interject, but I just wanted
to... No, you're good. But because of that, you know, I do enjoy some shock value jokes. Now, like you said, these were very targeted, and it was almost cringy in some parts where I was like, can we let up a little bit, man? Like I just want to laugh. I don't want to, there's a difference between like me and Matt, for instance, when we're going back and forth and joking with each other. It's different when it's just joking and if you're actually attacking someone. And everyone knows the difference. And this just felt awkward. Like you were an awkward person just watching him just get back at the community. And I didn't really care for it. And typically I'm very open comedically because I think comedy, certain things are allowed within comedy because I like Mel Brooks and stuff. I get it's not okay nowadays, but for the time and things like that, those like Blazing Saddles makes me laugh my ass off.
To me, cheap comedy, and that's not to say it can't exist.
Right.
Cheap comedy is sort of like the late night show monologues. I remember the 90s when Monica Lewinsky was running around, and now, like, don't get me wrong, but I was a teenager and I was hearing adults say some pretty horrible shit about this woman that the president fucked over, and nobody was saying anything about him. Like, okay, well, we're gonna, fucking take you out, but no, it's not gonna happen. He's fine, and we still praise him as a hero. So, like, the reason I say that is because those late night comedians for years have always been very pointed in their jokes. Like, let's make fun of this person because she's in the news. Comedians will make fun of it, but they'll make fun of all the shit that goes around it.
Right.
And so, like, but this special did feel like a late night comedy special. Yeah. And it took away from the fact that in 20 years, he's back in this place where he made probably one of the greatest comedy specials of all time. And we're talking about this again.
Right.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying.
I also think because, like, I love Robin Williams stand-up. And I feel like his got better and better, and he got distinguished, while he was alive. Rip, Robin Williams. I expected him to be very distinguished, well-versed, all the jokes to hit, for them to be great. And I just feel like he took a step back from his last stand-up, like you just said. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I still like him, but I'm like, you kind of set the bar at, like, we'll say a solid 8, and now you just came back, and this clearly was just an excuse for you to have a stage to kind of talk shit about a certain group.
Yeah.
You kind of went down to a 4 for me, and I didn't expect that.
That's why. Yeah. I don't mean to take this away from you, but, like, I take away what you're saying. I'm just a blowhard and I'm terrible at stuff. But that's why I always say, don't come at things with hate, come at them with love.
Right.
You do this shit. If you point because you're upset or angry, it's not funny. But if you went out there and made everyone laugh and nobody was offended, not saying you can't make jokes about something, but not beating on everything, because now what you did was you tried to use disabled people as a metaphor and offended disabled people. Right. And it's like, but you couldn't just make jokes and make us laugh, disabled jokes, trans jokes, whatever. But, like, in a sense of, like, it's all love, man. Let's just have some fun.
Right.
But yeah, I'm with you on that. Our ratings for this are identical. We both gave it 2.5. I check it out. Don't check it out. It's really not that great, personally, but that's where we stand. Let's get to Mick's movie pick and then end this thing, because we got to get on her start. That's right. It's Mick's movie pick this year from the year 1989, and I'm going with a mainstreamer. It's a sequel. I'm going with 1989's Police Academy 5. That is right. City Under Siege. This was the first Police Academy movie I ever saw, and it just stuck with me. So I think because I was going through and I was kind of adding things, I saw this and I was like, this is one I kind of want to see, to kind of think about my childhood and like watching this movie when it was on TV. So I suggest everybody want a good laugh. You want to get out there. It's zany, it's crazy, it's absurd. Have some fun. Nothing's pointed, and it's a good time. Paul, have you ever seen the Police Academy movies?
I've seen the first 2. I didn't know there were 5.
Oh, there's not 5. There's not 5.
Oh.
There's like 7 or 8 of these bad boys.
Oh, so I didn't know that.
This franchise goes as far as so many more wonderful horror ones. But I definitely think this would just be a really fun laugh. So this is my Mick's movie pick for the week from 1989. And before we get going, I want to say thank you to everybody who joined in watching tonight, or is listening at a later time, or watching at a later time. You guys are all awesome. We are the Scene Snobs. Producer Paul, I am Mick Manhattan. You can check us out over on Sir Sturdy. Paul, you got anything you want to say before we take off, man?
Make sure to leave in the comments, guys, what bad habit you're gonna pick up this month.
Yes, that's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. I want to hear them. Or follow us on social media and talk to us there. Or the best place to actually leave it, where we see everybody in the Snob Nation gets it, is the Discord. Make sure you head over to the Discord. It's down in the link below in the link tree, and all of that and more. So you can follow us on all social medias, hang out with us, talk with us, have a good time. And make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell, so that way you can know when more shows like this and other great shows are coming out as well. And until we take off, actually go check out Sir Sturdy and Paul have just checked out and reviewed Night Swim. That's up on there now. I went back and watched Double Dragon for Does It Suck? That's out there. The new Godzilla episode is out. We got tons of stuff coming and going and everywhere in between. Thank you. We just reached 2,000 subscribers. We're actually at 2,030 right now. We appreciate you, all of you. But we'll be back next week. We have the cast of Grind. The cast and crew of Grind are joining in. Cannot wait to talk to them. A new horror movie coming out. A lot of great talent, a lot of great people in there. So make sure to join in then. Thank you to our sponsors, StubHub. That's right. Go down in the link below. Click on them. Order through us. Get us paid. No, I'm just kidding. StubHub is great. It's going to be warming up in a few months. Get your tickets now. I got my AJR tickets for August. Can't wait to go see them. We're going to have a great time. Paul, you beautiful bastard. I love you, and I will talk to you in just a few minutes over on Sturdy. I will talk to all of you. Remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves, because that's very important these days and age, and I love you all. So, bye.